Oh, hey everybody, Syntax77 here, just hanging out on my back porch with a little bit of a chill in the air. Careful what you wish for. I was just speaking the other day on my day hiking video about how I can't wait for cool weather, and the very next day it's like freezing out here. I got long pants on for the first time in quite a while. But the reason I'm here today is because I was going through my emails. Sometimes I get emails, sometimes I get comments on YouTube, sometimes right on my website, and I got a question from Lyle B asking me about tarps, specifically Cuban fiber tarps. What he said was, let me pull it up here, I'm considering purchasing the Hammock Gear Cuban fiber tarp, but given the price I thought I'd ask some people who own it a couple of questions. So I was about to start typing back a response, and I said to myself, wait, this is actually a great topic of conversation. Why don't I just make a video about it real quick? I can talk about my thoughts on it. You guys can post comments, help Lyle out with his decision as well. Personally, I've got the Hammock Gear Cuban Fiber 12-foot tarp, and then I was thinking my friend Mike has 2 other tarps. Between the 2 of us, we have 3 different styles, so that would probably be helpful to people. Matter of fact, maybe I'll just call Mike. I got the phone in my hand.
Hello?
Mike.
Hey.
What are you doing?
Just doing.
Huh?
What?
This bit's not working.
Signal.
This bit is not working well if you don't have signal.
I'm in a better spot.
Oh, okay, great. Probably because you're so far away. You know, that's how cell signals work. I got this email from some guy asking questions about a Cuban fiber tarp, and then I started thinking about how you had 2 of them and I had 1, and between the 2 of us we got a bunch, and I'm doing a video right now to kind of help him make a decision, and I thought maybe I could get some feedback from you.
Oh, definitely.
Although I don't know how much we can really hear you on this cell phone. It keeps breaking up. Mike? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I can hear you a lot better right now. That's good. Did I lose you? Did I lose you? Hello? I hear myself. No, you're clear, but I hear myself too.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah. Oh,
You want to just talk?
I'm going to hang up. I didn't realize you were right there.
What's up?
You're really close by. Actually, I need to keep this email up. So what I was explaining to them, and you know nothing about this because, we didn't plan any of this in advance, of course. Why are you here? That is really odd.
The last time we went to the beach, apparently Danielle left her whole life here.
Oh.
And Sarah was getting a whole bag of stuff together for me.
All
Towels, suntan lotions,
Okay.
all kinds of stuff.
You left your life in Dewey.
Yeah.
Lyle has a couple questions before he invests in a Cuban fiber tarp.
Great investment, by the way.
Number 1 and number 2 we got. Number 1 question is 11-foot versus 12-foot. I have an 11-foot hammock, a War Bonnet Blackbird XLX. I'm leaning towards the 12-foot only because I like the idea of greater coverage. And then 2, doors versus no doors, and we'll get into all this.
These are good questions.
This is my biggest question, in Lyle's words here. If I should order it with doors, or can I get away without them?
Oh, man.
I'm primarily a 3-season camper, but in all caps, but I would like to do more winter camping. When would you have preferred a door version of this tarp versus a non-door version? I've seen you use the tarp in several of your videos. Is there anything you'd do differently or choose differently if you were purchasing this tarp again? Didn't mean to bother you, not bothering me at all, Lyle. Yeah.
Are we live?
I hope so.
This isn't going to turn into a fight, is it? I mean, this is perfect because we think different things, but together we have them all. So this is going to be good conversation.
And actually, I think you have... Actually, is one of yours just like mine?
Maybe.
All right, so I have the... Well, no. Both of yours are 12-foot? Because that's the first question. 11 versus 12.
So there's a reason I went with the longer.
All right.
One, the Cuban fiber is so light that to me, now to you, it may make a difference because you count every single ounce. For me, I'm like, I'd rather have the greater coverage.
Yeah.
And I learned because my first Hennessy hammock I ever bought, my first hammock period, came with that just barely enough.
The napkin.
The napkin.
Infamous.
And I couldn't stand that I didn't have a little extra. So when I actually bought a Cuban fiber tarp, I got the extra little bit, and it does make a difference. It makes it easier just to get over top. You don't have to be so precise either. I don't have a little leeway.
No, I agree. Mine is 12 foot as well. And yes, there's a difference in weight, but I want to say it's like 0.6 ounces or something ridiculous. And I did the same thing. Now, nowadays, I have 11-foot hammocks, so a lot of people say if you're doing 11-foot hammocks, definitely add the extra foot, although you can get away without it. Back then, I was doing 10-foot hammocks, and I still went with the 12-foot version. I think it only added like $15. Like I said, less than half an ounce. I'll have to put up the amount. And an extra foot doesn't sound like much, but relative to the space you're working with, it's just extra room. So even if your hammock's not going to get wet in a rainstorm, if you get stuck under there, and I've said it on a lot of my videos, some of you are probably sick of hearing it, if I get stuck under there to do chores or cook or just spend the rest of the night, I want a little extra room to be able to kind of function. I personally always go with 12-foot now. Will you be fine with an 11-foot? Probably.
Yeah.
You know what one of the negatives people say about the 12-foot is you're limiting your tree choices because now you got to find even wider trees. I'll be honest, I've never been in the woods and been like, oh my God, I wish I never bought this 12-foot hammock. I mean, we're not talking about a huge amount of difference. And if it's not wide enough, then I just move on.
Usually, if you're in that situation, your hammock's not going to work right too, because you were in that situation in Colorado.
Yes.
We had to camp in the middle of the night on our last leg.
And I was tired and probably should have thought at the time to wrap the whoopee around the tree.
Yeah. But
I was out of it.
We went way too hard that day, so we just wanted to go sleep. We weren't in our right mind. Honestly, I mean, how can you be... There must be some limited trees for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. You're definitely making your tarp a good bit wider than the minimum distance on your hammock, so I get it, but I don't know.
Is it wider or longer?
Yeah, it's
wider
or longer, I mean.
Yeah,
but I mean,
longer.
width of the trees, tree to tree width, I don't know. It doesn't... I mean, I'll tell you, there have been times that 1 foot of difference would have made me be able to use a pair of trees, and I couldn't. But I didn't. It didn't make me want to trade my tarp in for an 11-foot. So, verdict, 11 or 12-foot?
12.
Yeah, we both like 12-foot. But, I mean, I'm not going to, disown you if you buy an 11-foot, Lyle. It's going to be okay.
It's going to work out. You're still going to stay dry.
Yeah, but I just...
And you're going to laugh at us when we can't set up our 12.
You know the other thing, too?
This much less space.
Yeah. The other thing is, the tarp I came from... All right, so I had the little postage stamp tarp that you're talking about that came with the Hennessy. Then I went to the Hennessy Deluxe tarp that is 12 by 10. Either way, it was 12 feet long. And I got used to that, and I didn't want to give it up. So... Oh,
yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
Big tarp.
It just felt like I was taking a step backwards and spending all this money. Might as well keep it just as long. Doors versus no doors. This is a big one, and one that you are more qualified to speak on.
I had both.
I only can speak from the perspective that I decided not to get them, but I've never owned a tarp with them, so I don't know exactly what I'm missing. And let's go over this question one more time. When would you have preferred a door version of this versus a non-door? And so you have both, so you can speak to that. And that's pretty much it. And would you choose to do it differently? Would you buy both your tarps with or without doors, or do you like having both?
So... The only reason I have both, the only reason I have 2 tarps, period, is because I use one for my wife when she goes hiking.
Right.
If I was to only buy 1 tarp, I would have bought doors. But the reason I didn't buy both with doors...
The first one you got was with doors.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Because I don't want to be wet in cold situations. Now, here's my rationale for it.
Okay.
In the summer...
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if there was a little bit of cross breeze and getting some rain in there. I'm not going to freeze to death. But in the winter, to be able to take that cold wind off of me by cinching the doors down and keeping crosswind rain from getting my underquilt wet or anything like that, for me is a sense of peace. So that's why I have it for even fall, anything where it could be cold. I feel like those doors really do help with the crosswind. Sometimes you only have trees where the wind is directly blowing underneath of you, and that it instantly makes it better. Yeah,
I just did it in the big South Fork video that I posted a couple days ago. I specifically pointed out in that video that I chose trees based on the wind because I don't want to have all right, if I have an A-frame like this, I don't want the wind going through it. I want to go against it. So for you don't have to worry about that when you're selecting your trees.
Correct.
Except for the fact that your tarp is way too big and that none of the trees you find work for you. Because
No.
you have a 12-foot versus a
Oh, the 12-foot
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
If you do decide to go with the doors, I do recommend, I think there's an option where you can
Okay.
get the tie backs on there. Super important because you can instantly turn that tarp into a tarp with no doors by just, and those cinch backs are cool. I got the cinch backs, you pull them up and you can tie them, connect it to it.
So it's kind of like where the pull out is in the middle. Even if you don't have doors, it goes right to there, right?
Yeah, you flip them back up on top of the tarp, and it just
Makes it
stays
nice
up
and
there.
clean.
So it's nice and clean. You can take them back down when you're ready to go to bed or whatever you want. So it's nice to have that option, and I think it is an option. So make sure you get the tie backs.
Okay.
I think it's worth it. And if you want to make the tarp a huge just overhang, it allows you to have
it is bigger.
a bigger overhang once you stretch it all out too.
Because
if you want to use it that way.
You're right, because the tarps are hexagonal cut. So on the end, it's not a rectangle. They go in a little bit, but because of the doors, when you flip them out, you almost do kind of have a
You have a
rectangle.
huge, you have
right?
a much bigger area.
All
if
right.
you want to use it as a shade.
Now, since you
Do
have
you remember Train to Trail?
both, vividly.
I used that and we projected.
Oh yes,
Onto it.
we made a movie screen out
But-
of it.
I know what some of you are thinking right now,
Morning seemed
and
too
I'm with you.
far away.
It was huge because
Yeah,
I
it's
had it
huge.
pulled out that way.
It is. Now, and there's another plus. You can turn it into a movie screen much better. But since you have the one with outdoors,
And I've used that.
how about some negatives, or I should say positives to not having doors?
It's bigger.
Weight? How much of a weight difference? I can pop it on the screen, but I don't think it's a ton.
I'm
Maybe
bad
a
with
couple ounces?
specifics,
A couple ounces, maybe. The whole
but
tarp
it's bigger.
regularly.
It's actually bigger.
Oh,
I brought
yeah?
both of them. They're in little stuff sacks if you wanted to see them.
Sure. Yeah, go for it. The it should be pointed out too that the standard Cuben fiber tarp, maybe even the 12-foot one, is only 5 ounces. I know people knock these things while Mike's getting this for being so expensive, but 5 ounces is ridiculous. Now, of course, that's without lines. A lot of times I quote the tarp with the lines. That weight is around 8 ounces, and people tell me, for $90 I could get a tarp that's only 1.5 pounds. You paid all that money and you only saved half a pound. Well, I actually saved the full pound. 5 ounces versus 24 ounces is huge. And really, it's about double the cost for one of these, but you're cutting your weight more than in half. So I find the investment worth it if you backpack enough.
You're talking about cost.
Yeah, people knock it
They're expensive,
so bad.
but honestly, it weighs nothing.
Yeah.
It's like super space age material.
It's ridiculous.
I like that you can kind of see through it, get some light through it too. You can't see through it, but it's
Yeah.
nice to be able to have that sense
Little light.
of.
Wake up a little earlier
Yeah,
in the morning
yeah.
too, naturally. Yeah, I
It's
didn't even
just
realize
so
the difference though.
light. But there's I don't know if they can get perspective,
No, I think so.
but there is a big difference between
Wow, the volume.
doors and no doors.
It's probably more of a volume difference than
it's
it
a
is a
volume
weight
difference. So another reason I only use this in the winter and fall is because I'm using my bigger backpack.
Okay.
This is hard to pack in with my stuff when I
You're
do
like Exos 58.
my Exos 58. I usually use this, but it's because during that time I'm using a lightweight backpack anyway during the summer.
Oh, right.
So summertime choice,
Winter.
winter. And I
Or
still
if you
can get it
really
in there.
expect some bad weather, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? That's interesting. Most guys say exactly what you do, and it makes perfect sense. And he brought it up. They want the doors for winter. Although I think more of rain. There's been situations, and it hasn't happened to
rain
me yet.
Awful.
It's more rain and wind. If there's rain and wind, I get real nervous about that wind direction, not just for keeping me cool, because on that last trip that I was just talking about, it was actually too hot. I could have used more wind, but it was going to rain that night. I didn't want to get blown on by blowing sideways rain. That's when I think the most about, oh, I wish I had doors. In the winter, I usually bundle up. I might put a sock or a cover on my hammock, so usually it's the wind isn't as bad, although it is magnified in the winter. But the number one time I think about wanting doors is actually when I'm like, man, that rain is gonna get at me. Although another reason for the extra length for me is it's a little extra leeway for raindrops.
Yeah, you get
especially if
underneath
you
of
don't
it a little
set up right. Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right.
So I'm definitely sold on length. The doors, I mean,
You're on. Yeah, I
it
go back
makes
and
me.
forth on the doors.
You know, if people are concerned about length being a foot and not having the right trees for that, they should definitely have doors, because if you can't direct yourself the right way with the wind, then you're really screwed. So I
Yeah.
feel like the doors might be more important than the length if you were to choose one, but I like both.
Okay. I think that covers both topics. Speaking of rain, I'm getting blown on by rain right now. I kind of wish we had the tarp.
You can put the tarp up.
We can put the tarps up real quick. Now, he didn't bring it up, but we kind of touched on price. I mean, you want to give an opinion real quick on that? Should everybody run right out and get Cuben?
Only if you actually hike. Does that
More
make
than
sense?
once a year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pushing it because I only go out a couple times a year now.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like every year.
Yeah.
So.
Now, he didn't ask this question, but he should have.
Uh-oh. Lyle.
You have to get the snakeskin.
Oh, he didn't bring up snakeskins? No real fault, but that's a good point.
Because snakeskins make your life amazing. It's so fast and easy to just set up this way. You have nothing to mess with. And when you're done, you just stuff it back in and you roll it back up. And
it's nice.
Snakeskin is the coolest feature they have.
And what's another advantage of the snakeskin? I know you'll think of it as soon as I say it, if not right now. What if you don't think it's going to rain, but it might?
Oh, yeah. You don't have to have your tarp out.
Just keep it up there.
You keep it up there, and it's this long snake.
Yes.
And it's not blocking your whole view or anything like that. And then you just pull it out. You quickly cinch it down if you have the cool little clippies that you'll probably talk about from Dutchware.
Yeah.
It makes it really fast and easy.
Yep.
But yes, since this is just about Cuben fiber, you definitely need snakeskin.
And it should be pointed out, if you have the snakeskins, a lot of guys don't go with the bag, and you could save a whole quarter ounce there.
Yeah, but
I don't bother. Does this not keep it nice and organized?
A quarter ounce, yeah.
Oh yeah. Believe me.
This is, I mean, there's string and stuff. And,
I'm not that worried about it.
I mean, it slips because it's Cuben fiber.
Plus, if you, I shove that on the outside pouch of my bag, and I feel like this just keeps it from other crap getting tangled up in it.
This is ridiculous. Hey. This is nothing right here.
We got a long way to go before we have to worry about really getting that uptight about quarter ounces. At least
so you're buying a Ferrari. You don't get the MP3 player?
MP3?
You know what I'm saying.
Taking it back.
Wait, is that not cool?
MP3s? No. I don't know.
MP3
player. I feel like just nobody thinks about the file format anymore.
Bluetooth. You wouldn't buy a Ferrari and
there
say,
it is.
I'm not getting the Bluetooth option.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The bag. Just get the bag.
Get the bag. Well, it comes with the bag. Get the snakeskin.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
And the bag.
Right? Yeah. Get it all. Get everything.
With tie back.
Carry 4 tarps. They're so light. It would be only 20 ounces and $1,000, and you could carry 4 tarps.
Yeah. And if you can't get it, just wait 1 more month. Save it up.
Yeah, because here's the other thing to think about. I'll go back to price real quick, and then I think we'll wrap it up.
It's one of my favorite things I bought, actually.
I love it. It's been years now, and people say, "Oh, ultralight gear, you spend so much, and it's less resilient." And I've talked about this as well.
That's crap.
I wouldn't take this to battle with me. There's a reason the Army doesn't use Cuben Cuben fiber. You can't run this over with a tank or a truck, an old school tent. You could, okay? We get the difference, but I'm not going to war in the woods.
Picked up one of their backpacks? My brother is in the Army, and like I look at his stuff that he had to carry, and I'm like, that is ridiculous.
Right.
I would never carry that burlap. I would never wear those clothes. But it's because they need it
resilient.
They need to jump in the dirt and
they're dealing with a lot of guys, and they're averaging out everybody's intelligence. I mean, I'm thinking me and you, the viewer, you're probably smart enough to treat this thing right and not take it to war. And since I've done that, I don't have so much as a tear on this thing.
I think it's amazing.
It's awesome. And then the other thing is the sticker shock. This is like $230, but you're still going to spend $100 on a regular tarp. So the way to really look at it is this is an extra $130. Can you wait out? I say get a Walmart tarp for $5. Who cares?
Oh, you need to go right now?
Yes, be really cheap and save up for this and use that Walmart tarp. That's just one idea. Yeah. I don't know.
It's worth the investment. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's our opinion, of course. Please chime in on the comment section. Let us know if we missed anything or that if you disagree. Maybe you just think that Cuben is ridiculous. Maybe you think it's the best. Maybe you got some tips for Lyle. I think that kind of sums it up. Anything else you want to say? Besides the fact that you have 2 tarps, I should mention that you're trying to outdo me on not just the fact that you have 2 Cuben fiber tarps, because I only have 1, but you have 2 YouTube channels too, so I'm feeling a little insecure right now.
No, you should not. I mean, it's really just, it's what's working with my life. I mean, I had Trail Killer, and I still do have Trail Killer.
No, Trail Killer.
Trail Killer.
Okay.
I just can't leave. You know, I got 4 kids. I can't leave to go into the woods as much as I would like to and put the effort into that account the way I want to.
Okay, so then what happened?
I decided to do
Double
a spin-off
Double
with
YouTube?
yeah, with Fam Life for Real.
Okay.
And because I'm making memories for my family,
Right.
trying
And
to make
you're
them fun
still
to watch.
sharpening
So
the
when I
video skills.
look back on this stuff, it's not boring.
Right.
Still having fun doing the video thing.
There you go.
But we, as a family, have been doing some stuff that are going to be coming out soon. We went to New Hampshire as a family.
I was
and
going to say, you're still
those
doing
videos are going to
outdoor
come out.
stuff,
So
yeah.
like now I'm confused because I don't know if I should put on Trail Killer or Fam Life for Real because it's kind of both.
This is tough.
So there's that.
Maybe a version for each. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, check those out. They'll be linked up in the corner somewhere. I don't know. I'm all disoriented, but now I think that covers it.
You know you're my family too. You're on a lot of these videos.
I'm part of Fam Life for real.
Yeah, for real.
Yes. All right, perfect.
that's
So
funny.
Lyle, I hope that helps. Anybody else who's thinking about Cuben fiber, I hope that helps too. Like I said, chime in with your own comments in the section below. Until next time, I'm Syntax77. That's Trail Killer / Fam Life for real.
For real.
And right now, it is time for us to, we're going to do a separate video where we cook.
Yeah,
So I'll
just
link
like you,
that too.
had somebody ask some really good questions about my Toaks pot, and
So we'll
I
film
need
that
to
next.
do that for him.
2 crossover videos in one day. All right, till next time, I'm Syntax77, and you have fun out there.